my name is DeVoe, and I am going to introduce you to Izzy, and this is my other little one, Bella, and I'm here to tell my story. I was 18, I just started going to college. It was October, I had a lump on my hand. I didn't really think much of it. 2 months passed by, I go home for Christmas. I'm sitting there in the living room and the lump is still there on my left hand. And my daddy immediately said, we need to get it checked out. The next day they decided, because there was a lump, they wanted to send me to the hospital to get a outpatient biopsy. And by that evening, the doctors came in to tell me that I had cancer. It was a very rare aggressive tumor called rhabdomyosarcoma. And they're telling me not only is this a very rare aggressive tumor, that they potentially are going to have to take my whole left hand. I met a great team of doctors at Riverside and Ohio State University that ended up figuring out a way to save my left hand, but only having to take 2 of my fingers. I then had 2 years of chemo and radiation, and then by May of 1990, that's when they officially declared me in remission. January 16th of 2006, I woke up and I couldn't feel my toes and I couldn't feel my feet, and I didn't really quite understand what was going on. March of that same year, I actually had to take a leave of absence from my current position, and they started testing me for a gamut of things. Secondary cancer, different diseases that could have been caused from blood transfusions. Went to a series of doctors, and everyone seemed to think at that time it was more in my head, not actually something that was really currently going on. I didn't have any of my records. I didn't know at the time when I was battling cancer that I should be keeping all my records. How much radiation I had, how much chemotherapy drugs, what strength of chemotherapy, how many durations of that chemotherapy. I had a family practice that I had been going to at UT Southwestern, and she actually was no longer going to be in practice. She gave me the name of Dr. Angela Orlino. She then realized when I told her with the chemotherapy drugs that I was on, that actually it was not in my head. It was not another disease that some of these doctors thought it was. It was the late effects of chemotherapy. She has helped me with a surgery they wanted to do this past 2011 with a spinal cord stimulator. The spinal cord stimulator will help with the neuropathy pain because the burning, the numbing, the tingling at times can be very overbearing and very unmanageable.
The ACE program is a joint venture between Dallas Children's Hospital and UT Southwestern to help care for childhood and young adult survivors of cancer from their childhood and adolescent to young adulthood into adult care. Most of our patients are from Children's. They were treated at Children's, but we have a significant number who were treated elsewhere and say perhaps moved to Dallas after their care. They're followed in the ACE program. The focus of the program is surveillance for late effects of the treatment that they received, not so much for recurrence. Part of what ACE does is clinical care. That's actually its primary mission, is to take care of patients who have survived cancer and are at risk for chronic medical problems. The other mission for the ACE program is research. We're part of a consortium of children's hospitals centered at St. Jude who gather information about these patients, because as I say to the patients, you guys haven't really existed ever before and we need to, you help us help the children who are being treated today get better, less toxic and more effective treatment. One of our important objectives in the ACE program is to make sure that the patients are educated not only about their late effect risks but their own history. As I tell patients, they are the best repository of their own medical information. We see a range of late effects from cancer therapy, ranging from cognitive thinking problems, thyroid problems, neuropathy, heart problems, risk for stroke, risk for early cancer is a big concern because of the radiation and some of the chemotherapies that are used as well. We often tell them, go live your life. You know, this was one chapter, we're following you for these things, but please go live your life. Some of them, though, have serious problems being able to do that because of unresolved issues, emotional issues, psychological issues that stem from the cancer, and that's also an important function we have to identify those patients and help set them up for care addressing that problem.
And the one thing that I've learned out of all of this is that I suppressed my feelings and my emotions on my whole cancer experience, on being a survivor. I never wanted to deal with it. I was scared and I did not want to share it with anybody about what late effects, what chemo, what cancer, what everything. I didn't want to have anyone treat me differently. By telling the story and sharing what I've gone through, it has helped me heal. And I just wish that I would have done it when it happened and not 22 years later.